Following up on the MobileCAD Quick Keys video, this video will explain the law CAD forms found within the navigation menu. The login screen automatically pulls up when you click the CAD icon from the toolbar. However, if you get kicked off mid-session, you can also access it from the navigation menu, Quick Key F2. Start by realizing that fields with an asterisk are required. Unit ID is who you are working as. This is a free text field that does not validate to anything in CAD, so if you put Tim or Debbie in here, that is how you will appear in CAD, both on dispatches, other units, and your screen. Next is Vehicle ID. This must exist in CAD before you can sign in with it. This is generally your car number. Then there's starting mileage. To minimize confusion, a mask has been added to indicate that you should only enter the last 4 digits plus the 10th. Agency ID defaults to your agency and area for law agencies, but you can change the area. For example, the SO comes up as SO, but they change the area to SON or SOS depending on north or south. CAD ID is a personnel ID in the database. It sometimes matches your radio call sign, but this should have been assigned to you at the start of employment. Portable radio is a feature that we do not use. It just came with the form, so you can ignore it. You can have a second officer if you have a ride-along, but this must also validate with CAD like Officer 1. The rider field is free text, so if a citizen or a news reporter wants to do a ride-along, you should document that in this field so it gets logged into CAD. Unit Equipment Box is another feature we do not utilize. It allows you to change the detail you're working, but this specific nature is not logged anywhere. It's just a new feature with the 7.0 package. The send bar will activate your login. You can also press enter. If adding a second officer or rider after the fact, you don't have to log off first. Just add the information, then press this modified login button. Refresh will populate boxes with previous information used to log in the last session. This is helpful if you get kicked off in the middle of your shift. Clear will empty all fields and make your start all over. The next button from the CAD Forms grid is Log Off. Simply enter your ending mileage and log off your session. The status change form will give you a couple different fields. The new status field is a drop-down type ahead field for every status option. Remember, the most frequently used statuses are on your quick keys F3 through F8. The whole list for once you get into the meat of the incident are located here. These locations and comments fields are unit related. These are helpful if you're out of the area and want dispatch to know that you are not closely ready to respond. The only required field in this form is new status. Moving on to the new incident form, this allows you to create your own field-initiated call should you encounter an incident outside of dispatch assigning you one. Within this form, you will select the incident type either from the drop-down list or by typing ahead, then tabbing once you find the correct incident type. If the incident involves a vehicle, capture the license plate in the plate field. The state field defaults to Ohio, but this can be changed if the plate is an out-of-state plate. If you have wants and warrants running, the plate will automatically be queried. If it involves an address, a valid address, common place name, or intersection is required to initiate a call in CAD. The location field is a free text field and can be used to enter additional information about the location. The apartment, building, and city are further address fields. The city field is the jurisdiction city and not the mailing address. The city should not be entered unless you are absolutely sure what the city is. Finally, as you would receive comments from dispatch, you also have the capability to capture comments that will be logged into CAD and tracked with the incident. The next CAD form is View Dispatch. This button allows you to look up the current incident that you are assigned to. This is where most officers sit during their workday, as new incident information will come through on this form. So let's walk through the fields. Incident type will show the current incident type you are on. Priority will be the number that CAD assigns the incident type. The lower the number, the more of a priority, and the more units that will be dispatched. Time is the time the incident was initiated by the call taker. Incident number is the number that were transferred to LRMS and IIQ. It's coded by your agency type, agency ID, date, then a 6-digit sequence. The map field will show the quadrant on the bingo map that you should see for a map view of the incident location. The bingo maps are on the Warren County Map Index on your desktop. The Details section includes all the address fields, including cross street, common location name, area, and beat. Then you get into the dialog boxes at the bottom, organized by tabs. Comments is where you will see incident comments such as the initial call taken, notes, updates from dispatch, and which dispatcher is handling the incident. Assigned units will list up to 5 units being dispatched to the incident so you know who else is responding. It will show their CAD ID such as 8Paul21. Reported by will reveal the 911 caller or incident initiator, including their name, address, and phone number if captured. Before contacting them, make sure the box is appropriately checked, indicating if the complainant wishes to be contacted. Incident times include when the call was received, dispatched, officially considered en route, when your unit arrived, and when your unit cleared the incident. Press Refresh Current Incident to see the initial times in each field. Report number in modifying circumstances will show your agency's report number for this incident and any modifying circumstances. This is a display-only field. Modifying circumstances is a way for the dispatcher to modify the response assignment in CAD, for example, to upgrade the response for a vehicle crash with entrapment. A vehicle crash in Clear Creek Township would get 1-E and 1-M, but a vehicle crash with entrapment would get 1-E, 1-M, and 1-R. The entrapment code EN would display in this field as a way to let the responders know why the response was upgraded. This currently is not used for any law incident types. Refresh Current Incident goes out and pulls back the latest information from CAD and updates the call. This can also be used to pull up an active incident if the unit just signed on or was bumped off and their call is not showing. Export data is used to export information from CAD to FBR. Let's move on to the incident update form. With the exception of incident number, these are fields that an officer can update at any time during the incident, but most of the fields remain their original entry. If an active incident, the incident number will appear in the top right corner. Incident type normally stays what it was originally coded as, and if it changes, dispatch would be the one to do this, unless it's a field-initiated incident by yourself. For example, if a caller hangs up before all the details are received, dispatch may call it a 911 hang-up, but once the officer arrives, it may be reclassified as a domestic. Changing the address will change the initial address for the call, so you do not want to do this unless the original entry was wrong. If an incident starts to involve multiple addresses, each address should have its own incident number. A good example of when the address may change is if someone reports smoke but can only tell the general area it's coming from. The officer or fire department can change it to the exact address once they arrive on scene. Regarding the Generate Report Number box, CAD automatically creates a report number for the dispatched call for the agency whose jurisdiction the incident took place in, even if an outside agency is primary responder. If an officer calls in an incident or creates it from his or her MDC, the report number is created based on their unit and will be coded to the responding unit's agency. This all depends on how the incident originates, either in the field or from the communications center. Generate Report Number is a feature that CAD is set up to automatically create a report number for the originating agency every time an incident is created. So if you are not the originator, you will need to check this box to create a report number that triggers CAD to send the incident data to your agency's records management system. This gets confusing for people after the fact, but please realize that the incident number and the report number look identical, but they are very different. An incident can have multiple report numbers attached to it if multiple agencies are working together on the call. The incident number relates to the CAD incident created by dispatch or a field unit. The report number is for agency use after the incident is over for their records management system. If a field-initiated incident, CAD does not automatically create a report number, so you need to check this box yourself. If you assist on an incident outside your jurisdiction and want a report, you need to request this from dispatch. They go through an extra step to make sure the report number matches your agency in the second and third digit spots. Every incident number does not get a report number, but every report number has a corresponding incident number that it was created for. Each agency can only have one report attached to an incident. So if 5 sheriff's deputies are on the same incident, They each cannot create a report number. The primary officer has sole rights to creating that report number. If all 5 did it, the first one to press the Generate Report Number button will get caught by LRMS, and the rest will get discarded. To make things even more confusing, the report number is called the event number in LRMS, so note this so you know what corresponds to what. Few officers and firefighters realize that they can update a closed incident. It is actually easier for you to do it because it is logged with your unit. By knowing the entire incident number and typing it into the incident number field, you can retrieve incident details and make changes. The comments field is a field for you to add comments to the incident both during and after the incident has completed. Let's move on to the incident disposition form. You remember that quick key F8 will put you in available mode and let you enter a closing disposition. All the dispositions are in drop-down pick lists that are also type ahead fields, so if you memorize the 2-letter code, start typing it and tab once it appears on your screen. In case you are not clear on what a disposition is, it is an action taken on an incident. For example, you have an arrest, a report is taken, or there is a civil problem. It's sort of like leaving breadcrumbs that you can look back and see how the incident progressed. Your incident number should appear in the top right corner, ensuring that you are adding dispositions to the correct incident. Location and comments are optional fields. Press Send to send these dispositions and capture them in CAD. The MF transport stands for male-female transport. If you happen to be transporting a person to or from the jail, courts, or anywhere else, use this form to log your destination, the incident number it's attached to if applicable, the mileage you begin your transport on, who the transport is, and any comments that you want to make sure are logged with the transport, possibly the person's conduct, state of mind, reason for transport. The next couple forms, send message and incoming message, don't really get used by our county personnel. Since we have the messaging feature in the top left corner, the messaging feature within MobileCAD hasn't found a need. The next form is incident info. There are multiple search criteria you can choose from, including incident type, stacked incident by agency, or even plate number. This could be useful if you need to look up information about a current or previous incident. To help you narrow down your results, you can select a from and to date. Let's use the example of searching an abduction and leaving everything else open. Pressing send will pull up all the results. You can see the incident number, which will show you which agency handled the incident, when it took place, which unit was the primary responder, and the address of the abduction. The next CAD form, unit info, will give you information on all units in an agency or area, a specific unit, or a specific incident. For example, an SO inquiry will organize by area, then show you the unit on the far left side, the type of incident they are currently on, and the address they are currently assigned to. The next form is incoming info. This is the page that displays information queried from CAD, such as information queried from the unit info or incident info forms. View stored message is another field that does not get used as it pertains to the send message and incoming message forms we already talked about. Acknowledge stacked calls is an important form for you to learn about. Rather than radioing into dispatch to acknowledge a stacked call and ask them to attach you to the next one, you can do it yourself from your MDC. Going to this form will reveal all the calls that you are currently attached to your unit and show you the details of the highlighted stacked calls. All you have to do is click the incident you want to acknowledge, aka let dispatch know that you've recognized it's been assigned to you, then click the acknowledge button at the bottom of the screen. This will remove it from this list and just keep it in your stacked calls list. Stacked calls shows the active call and any stacked calls on the unit. If a unit is on an incident and the dispatcher assigns them to another incident, CAD stacks the new incident or any other incidents up to 999 incidents on that unit. When the unit clears their original incident, CAD will automatically assign the unit to the next incident based on priority, date, and time of all stacked calls. However, if a unit decides to swap their calls to one of their stacked incidents before responding to the active incident they are assigned to, the unit can select a call from this stacked call list and click on the word dispatch. This effectively swaps the calls, making the stacked call the active call, and the active call becomes a stacked call. And finally, the bulletin board is another feature not used by Warren County Public Safety, so we will not cover this. So there you have an overview of the CAD forms for law users. Hopefully this will help you use the tool more efficiently and effectively. For further questions, contact Telecom at 513-695-HELP or email us at help@wcoh.net.